Mark chapter 5, verse 18. And I love this particular text, and I want to read from the NASB version, if you don't mind. It literally says, as he was getting into the boat, the man who, what's the name of this series? What's the name of this series? Insanity. Let me see if you can catch this real quick. As he was getting into the boat, the man who had been demon possessed. Can I contemporize, modernize, and McClureize this? The brother who was insane was imploring him that he might accompany him. You can be seated. I want to jump into this year, and I want to start with a very simplistic statement. If you're listening today, I want you to take really, really good notes. You may find a praise break, you may not, but I really believe if you take today's principle and make it applicable to your life, something in your life has no choice but to shift. I want to say this, and I want to say if 5 people can receive it. This year has to be bigger than a praise break. I thought 3 people would have received that. This year has to be bigger than a praise break. Too many of us are dealing with the residual effects of foolishness and frustration. And this is critical. And this year for you, you must construct and cultivate, please put this in your notes, self-awareness. That's good. We must cultivate and construct self-awareness. For those of you who purchased the little book I wrote last year, I Don't Like My Life, But I Love It. In that book, I shared a principle with you that I really believe will revolutionize your thinking, cause within you a paradigm shift. And self-awareness defined, self-awareness is about learning to better understand, please catch this, why you feel what you feel. That's good right there. Self-awareness is about better understanding why you feel what you feel and why you behave in a particular way. Let's leave that there for them in a second. Let's do this together, class. Self-awareness is a better way to understand why you feel what you feel, and more importantly, why you behave in a particular way. Aisha, it's one thing to go crazy and just say, he made me mad. Self-awareness is understanding the triggers that people push. I want to break down the dichotomy between the mature and the immature. The immature attacks the person. The mature takes the trigger. I don't think you heard what I just said. The immature attacks the person. You did it. I'm going to make you pay. The mature discovers what about me keeps allowing them to trigger this in me. So this is good. If I take the trigger, I take the power. This is why for those of you who are not self-aware, you can keep putting people out of your life, but then the next person who walks in is able to do exactly what the last person did. It's simply because you are not self-aware about why you feel what you feel and why you behave in a particular way. Somebody say self-awareness. What do I want for those of you listening and watching me today? We've had an incredible time in this series, Insanity. And as we were praying about insanity, one of the things that I struggled with and I struggled on how to articulate and become conversant about is how do I inculcate you, overwhelm you with the knowledge of self-awareness. That's cold-blooded, ain't it? Can I make a statement that may not be popular in church but may help 3 of y'all who ain't got time to be fake? I am insecure. You can sit in here and be swagged out all you want to. I am insecure. I think I'm secure, but let me feel somebody don't like me, or let me feel somebody is saying something about me. There are triggers that I have not addressed. And whenever you don't properly have self-awareness, you enter into something called the persona. Now, before you put that on the screen, I want to share what the persona is. Before you add that to the screen, all of you sitting in this room and all of you watching at home have a persona that you like to share with people. It is my persona. Let's look at the definition of persona. The Latin term for persona, watch this, is stage mask. So what's your persona? I want my persona to come off as if I'm educated. That's why so many of us wear those glasses that don't have no medicine in them, but they make us look smart. Who know what I'm talking about? I want to give off a certain persona. This is why you post so many babe pics and so many relationship pics, even though both of y'all about to kill each other. You're trying to present your best persona. This is why if I talk to you for 5 seconds, I can't even talk to you about you without you telling me everything you've accomplished, because you're trying to get me to see you through the lens of your persona, when we don't even realize the persona is the Latin term stage mask. What does that mean, PMJ? Your persona is not really you. It's what you put on. Preach, Pastor Mike. Which is why all of my single folks stop falling in love so quick, because you falling in love with the mask. Which is why when they take the mask off in 6 months, you asking, who is this? It's because you fell in love. I'm helping somebody already with the persona. And I want to submit to you, if the Latin term for persona is stage mask, here's a strong statement. I am real enough to admit that the mask for me can become suffocating. The mask for me can become suffocating. I hope you like this mask. For my birthday, I asked God, what could I do just to be a blessing? So I want you to be on the lookout, because this nice little Rock City mask, we're about to give 1,000 of them away coming up soon. And we're just going to do a drive-by and give some stuff away and do some other things. But as I was wearing my mask yesterday, I became overwhelmingly frustrated at how suffocating it is. Jesus, how suffocating it is. And I want to speak to somebody who's watching me this morning who is overwhelmed and irritated, not by people, but by what you have to be around people. Oh my God, did you hear that? Aisha, I hope you catch it. This is why I just have no room for people I can't be me around. I'm going to talk, and they sleep. I'm going to talk to y'all over here. I don't have time to be around people I can't be me around, because when you are around people that cannot handle the authentic you, they force you to wear the persona, which is the mask. And what the problem is, the reason so many of you are snappy, irritated, upset, about to lose your mind, is because you are around people you thought you could be you around. They got a glimpse of you, started judging you. So now your safe place has become a prison. And now you are overly irritated, because I am tired of having to portray perfect just to be in your circle. Ain't it crazy how people want you to be something that they're not? Ain't it crazy how people hold you to standards that they can't even keep? You supposed to be saved. How you cussing like that? You supposed to be saved. I'm cussing like that because I thought I could cuss around you. Did I just say that in the message? No, it is the persona. And it is the mask. And I hope you catch it. I think it was Lawrence Dunbar, Leslie, who said, we wear the mask. And what I'm trying to get us to a place now, that insanity for many of you is the struggle between when and when not to wear the mask. Can I help somebody real quickly? This is so critical, and I pray you catch it. Many of us are suffering, please put this in your notes, from unhealthy, unaddressed, emotional issues. Oh, we going there today, ain't we? We shut it down last week. Let's bring some balance. We are suffering from unhealthy, unaddressed emotional issues. And if I can be honest, you get out of one relationship, jump into another. You leave one church, join another. You lose one job, you find another. You lose loved ones and you stay busy so you don't have to deal with it. Too many of us are suffering in silence because, I'm preaching today, too many of us are suffering in silence because we have never had a safe outlet to deal with the emotional and mental trauma that we have been through. You were touched as a child. You were left by your parents. You went through a bankruptcy. You went through a foreclosure. Friends turned their back on you. A divorce. Life hit you fast. And at no point did you ever deal with it. You got over it. I don't think you heard what I just said. At no point did you deal with it. You just what? Got over it. And too many of you are building bridges, getting over stuff that you should have dug out and removed. I don't think you heard what I just said. My boys think they slick, right? My boys think they slick. I wake them up. I said, first thing you're going to do is brush your teeth, wash your face, make up your bed, boys. I want y'all to be disciplined. Make up your bed. Well, they think they slick, James. I go in there and the cover is on the bed. The pillow is on the bed, but there is a lump all throughout the bed. And I'm sitting there looking at them saying, boys, did you make up your bed? Yes, sir. I said, did you make up your bed? I'm asking you one more time. Yes, sir. I said, so what's that lump? I made up my bed, Dad. I pulled the cover back. The sheet balled up right here. The fitted sheet coming off this side is socks at the bottom of the bed. They thought making up their bed was just putting one layer over foolishness. And the reason so many of your lives are lumpy, the reason so many of your seasons are lumpy, the reason your peace is always lumpy is because you thought you could just cover up what you should have took off and made straight. And this is not the season for a cover up. This is the season to deal with the stuff that I don't want to deal with. This is the season to look in the mirror and say, Michael, there are some things you have been running from, some things you have not addressed, some things about yourself that you don't like, and until you address it, the enemy can keep using it. Did you hear what I just said? Did you hear what I just said? Until you address it, the enemy can keep using it. I am about to run and scream because I don't think you heard what came out of my mouth. Until you address it, the enemy can use it. Watch this. Because God, put this in your notes. Are you listening? Yes. Are you listening? Yes, put this in your notes. God is a creator. The devil is a manipulator. Yeah. The devil has no creation powers. God is a creator. The devil is a manipulator. What the devil takes what God creates and he manipulates it. This is crazy. So if the devil then is a manipulator, the feeling you have, he didn't create. He manipulated. God said, I'm going to create joy. You can't let the devil manipulate it into depression. I'm going to create love. Don't let the devil manipulate your love into lust. I'm going to create peace. Don't allow the devil to manipulate it into chaos. Manipulation. Filters. Somebody say filters. Okay, I was tripping the other day. Filters, all right? So I found a filter on Instagram that I love, right? It kind of makes my skin look smooth. I can't explain it. It puts this right, and y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Don't play. I've been seeing your pictures, Aisha. That ain't what you look like in real life. Don't play with me now. Don't do that. Now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know that filter that you kind of put a little color on it, then all of a sudden it's like your face gets smooth and you get a little bit more light skin. You know what I'm talking about? As I notice every time I go on Instagram now, Tristan, I won't do a post without the filter. Now, let me show you how insane I am. I know everybody who looking at it know that ain't my skin because Instagram made it possible to at the top, it tells you that I'm using a filter. But because it makes me feel good, I'd rather hide behind something that the world know is fake so my insecurity can be free. I'm preaching to somebody, and too many of you, because you won't address the stuff that you've been running from, you keep putting this filter up. Church, for many people, is nothing more than a filter. Singing on the praise team for many of us is nothing but a filter. Because if I can act like I'm worshiping in front of you, it covers up the fact I ain't worshiped in my house. I'm preaching to somebody in here, and if we ain't careful, many of you are dating people that you never would have dated. They're just a filter. Unhealthy, unaddressed, emotional issues. And until you address it, the devil can keep using it. That's crazy, ain't it? Church, you wanna know what the devil does? He takes the things that you are insecure about. Because insecurity, let me free you. Security says this is who I am. Insecurity says, all right, I'm gonna put this over here because I don't want nobody to see. I'm sensitive about that. The devil goes into that lockbox, pulls that out, and plays on it. And because you won't address it, it makes you go deeper into insecurity to keep covering it up. This is cold-blooded. I need you to catch this. Mark doesn't give me enough information. When we tiptoe into the corridors of today's text, we find ourselves situated and acculturated in this pregnant Markan text. In this present Markan text, this present powerful pericope, we find a dilemma that needs our attention. It is cold-blooded. Mark doesn't give me enough. He gives me the geography and the pathology, but not his biology. Geography, he's situated and acculturated in the tombs. Pathology, he has some type of tormenting spirit because he's cutting himself, but I do not have his biography. And that's the problem with everybody in your life. They know your geography, where you are. They know your pathology, what they think your issue is. The problem is, and the reason they finna get hurt is because they won't take time to do a biography. Yes, I live here. Yes, this is what you think is wrong. But until you go deep into my history and discover what caused me to be this way, I wasn't a mean person in 97. I wasn't a mean person in 2010. The reason I'm mean in 2020 is because there's some stuff that jumped off. And whenever people deal with your now without taking time to understand your yesterday, they abuse who you can become. That's good. I'm talking heavy today. See, if I don't understand your now, as a pastor, especially of high-level people, I got a lot of high-level people around me. I was laughing the other day because I'm just looking at all y'all and all the stuff you guys do and all the people that God has connected me to in my church. And I'm like, God, I have to have a very high level of discernment. Watch this, not of your current gift, but of your past pain. Most pastors fail at discipling and leading high-level individuals because they are too caught up on their gift and not enough on their pain. See, James, I love your pen and I love your anointing, but I have to be equally enamored by your past and your pain. Because if all I want from your gift, I am nothing more than a spiritual pimp. Give me your gift, then go home. You missed what I just said. I love the prophetic anointing on your life, Tristan, but if I am not deeply involved in the levels of your pain, I'm going to prostitute you for a word, but leave you when you're warring. Many of us are dealing with insanity because we have too many people in our life who love what we do, but don't care about who we are. Michael, we got people who love what we do. You make me laugh. I'm finna get some people in trouble. I want you to take time this week and just ask people simple questions like, what you love about me? What you like about me? If everything that comes out their mouth is something you do that benefits them, that relationship may not be as strong as we think. Because the thing that's holding this building up ain't the stuff I see. It's the stuff I don't see. And I'm trying to get to a place where I am tired of cosmetic Christianity, cosmetic relationships. There are some things I can't put makeup on no more. There are some things I can't cover up no more. I know this brother's geology. I know where he is. Geography. I know his pathology. That is his sickness. Geography, his location. Pathology, his sickness. What I don't know is his biography. All Mark tells me is when he got out the boat, immediately a man from the tombs with an unclean spirit met him. See, Mark, I'm frustrated with Mark. And when I get to heaven, me and Mark gonna chop it up. Because Mark reminds me in this particular sense like a whole lot of messy people. He tells me about this brother's issue, but don't tell me his story. That's critical, ain't it? Tells me his issue, but don't tell me his story. And I want to pause and parenthetically digress and submit to you that the reason so many churches are empty is because there are too many people in the pews assessing people's story without facts. People don't feel comfortable coming to your church. They don't feel comfortable coming around you because what you do is just because you've seen one person's story, you make everybody's story their story. That's crazy, ain't it? I had a sister stop me in Walmart and say, Pastor Mike, I just want to tell you thank you. I said, for what? She said, me and my 3 kids go to your church and you've never made me feel bad. You've never talked down to me. My boys love you. And she just kept talking. And she said something I thought about when I got in the car. She said, everybody treat me like a crazy baby mama because they see 3 kids and I'm single. She said, I ain't never slept around. I married the person I went to the prom with. He lost his mind, left us. Now it's me and 3 babies. But every place I go, people treat me like I got all these baby daddies and kids. And it made me think everybody who's single don't have the same story. And the improper assessment of the uniqueness of everybody's story will cause you to treat everybody the same. Y'all don't like me today. When he got out of the boat, immediately a man from the tombs with an unclean spirit. Somebody say unclean spirit. Notice the text didn't say an unclean man, but rather he had an unclean spirit. It didn't say an unclean man. Put the scripture on the screen. It never said an unclean man. It said immediately a man who just happens to have an unclean spirit. Don't allow your issue to define you. That's crazy. You are a person who just happens to have, because of the Adamic fall, because of what Adam did, all of us got something. Can I say something? And you can't pick it. It picked you. Hear me. He said, a man with an unclean spirit. What did I say? Don't allow your issue to do what? Define you. If you're not careful, people will try to label you. And I want to submit to you, ask you the question, what have they labeled you? Can I say something that's so powerful? Don't call me by my issue. Don't call me by my issue. Please don't call me by my issue. I want you to understand, it's too much, you have to understand that what God is attempting to do in your life, the enemy masters weapons of mass distractions. He will allow people to put labels on you that try to hold you hostage to your past. In other words, I have an issue. I'm gonna see who can get excited about this, but my issue doesn't have me. Can I say that again? I have an issue. I want to be real because too many of y'all faking this morning. If you got some real issues, just type me in the comment right there. If you have some real issues, just type me. Somebody type you preaching to me. If you make your life look good, but truth be told, you got some issues. Hear me when I say this. I'm not preaching to everybody because some of y'all gonna keep faking in front like you got this whole thing figured out. Even the folk with good money in the bank, with a good house and a good family, still got some issues. Can I celebrate and have church by myself? I'm so grateful that yes, I have issues, but my issues don't have me. Yes, I have issues, but my issues don't have me. This man's issue has him out of control. Look at verse 2. When he got out of the boat, immediately a man from the tombs with an unclean spirit met him, and he had his dwelling among the what? Tombs. Be careful when you're comfortable in dead places and around dead people. The evil spirit caused the man to dwell in the darkest, most eerie place imaginable, and living in the dark and eeriness further aggravated his condition. That's critical. He says, and he was dwelling among the tombs. Can I help you real quickly? Can I help you? Why was this man living among the tombs? Now, culturally understand that at the graveyard, there were these caves that were sort of like apartments. So it was not unnatural for somebody to live in the tombs. That's where poor people would stay. But we have to understand the reason this man was comfortable in the tombs was not because the man wanted to be there. Because if you keep reading further, Jesus tells him once he heals this brother, go to your family, which is indicative of the fact that the man's family, he comes from something. Life drove him to nothing. I'm in the wrong church today. He comes from something, but life drove him to nothing. Can I pause and parenthetically digress and submit to somebody who finds yourself in a difficult, dark season right now around people that the old you would have never been around, that you've been beating yourself up, frustrated and irritated and aggravated, like, God, how did I end up here? Stop beating yourself up. Sometimes life happens. This brother is in the tomb, watch this, because his issue thrived there. If you're not careful, your geography will be based off your pathology. If you're dealing with cancer, they have a certain place you can go for that. You're dealing with plastic surgery, you want plastic surgery, there's a certain type of place you go for that. All right, so you just don't go to a regular hospital for that. No, they have a certain type of place you go for that. Ear, nose, and throat, there's a certain place you go for that. If you tear your ACL, there's a certain place you go for that. Is it possible that you grew enough to know you got an issue, but not enough to know who to take it to? I'm talking heavy today. I'm talking heavy today. That's why 7 of y'all keep sneaking on this stream every week and can't figure out why you can't stop watching it. It's because for years you knew you had something wrong. You just been taking it to the wrong doctor. There are certain things, when I tore my ACL, I didn't go to my primary care physician. When I tore my ACL, Aisha, I didn't go to my primary care physician. I didn't go to Dr. Smith. No, I went to another doctor who specialized in joints. But when I need a yearly physical, I go to my primary care physician. Now, here's what's crazy. My primary care physician can recommend a specialist, but my specialist don't have authority to tell me who my primary care physician can be. Too many of you got your roles mixed up. You got people who trying to take care of everything who should have just been focusing on one thing. I'm preaching today. This is why I am so secure as a pastor that I can look at you and say, yes, I'm your pastor, primary care, but you might need to watch so-and-so for this. Did you catch that? That's why I'll bring in a Latrice Ryan, because I sense that we need some deliverance in our church. It's something that I can do but may not specialize in, so I bring it. You are an immature spouse, immature leader, immature parent if you think you can be everything to this individual. There are certain times when I tell my wife, no, go hang with your friends, because they're going to give you a level of laughing and joy that you just can't get from the responsibility of being my wife. And too many of us, I'm talking heavy today, too many of us are comfortable in dead places. That's cold-blooded. Comfortable in dead places. He was living amongst the tomb. I need you to catch this now, because look at this verse 3. And he had his dwelling among the tombs, and no one was able to bind him anymore. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? We're going to always be a church that researches all the text. No one was able to bind him. What's the key word? Anymore. No one was able to bind him anymore. Why is that important, PMJ? That speaks to a gradual progression of his issue. I want to do that again. Bind him anymore. That speaks to a gradual progression of the strength of his issue. So what happens is, when he first got the issue, he had a problem, but folk could contain it. The text says the issue grew so strong that it got to the point now where couldn't nobody bind it. This is for 7 of y'all who your attitude used to be a point where certain people can calm you down. Now can't nobody tell you nothing. That's for 5 of y'all who, yes, you've always had a smart mouth, but at least in the company of certain people, you ain't cussing act a fool. But now your issue is so dominant, you actually think it can come out in front of anybody. I'm preaching to somebody, and one of the most toxic places you can be, insanity, is when you get to a place that you can no longer control your issue. If I'm preaching to somebody ought to just shout, preach, Pastor Mike, preach, Pastor Mike. Because they sitting in here sleeping on me, and they going to make me prophesy all their issues in a minute, because this sermon must be making some of them uncomfortable, because any other Sunday they would be shouting and standing up and looking at me, doing stuff like this and all that right there, and they would have been walking around and all that. But today, everybody want to sit on your boy, because when I was talking about the new house, you wanted to shout. When I was talking about the promotion, you wanted to shout. But when I started talking about that little demon that's in your closet that don't come out until about 9:45, when I started talking about that foolishness that's in your nightstand that you pull out whenever you feel by yourself, now you don't want to shout. But I came to submit to you that the devil should have killed you when he had the chance. You about to break loose from every insane cycle, every insane person, every insane issue. The devil better loose you and let you. Somebody ought to just shout, I feel that, I feel that, oh, you gonna shout now, huh? I feel that. Hear me when I say this. No one could bind him anymore. My wife and I can be fussing, or I can be super mad when my dad get in the room. It's gotta stop. He has the key to my lock. That's cold-blooded. If you are comfortable allowing your issue to thrive around everybody, you, my friend, are possessed. Some of us have issues in our possession, and some of us are possessed by issues. Oh my God. I'm gonna back that up and say it again. Some of us have issues in our possession, meaning yes, we like to do this. Yes, we like to do, you may smoke, you may drink, you may lie, you may cuss, you may sleep around, you may be depressed. I don't know what the issue is. All of us have different issues, but whatever it is, some of us have it in our possession, which is why you can be doing good. Then something will happen and makes an appearance, but then conviction sets in and you do what? You dominate it again. Then some of you are possessed by your issue, which means you couldn't stop if you wanted to. I bet my stream's going down. Everybody logging off this morning. Everybody logging off this morning. 7 of y'all ought to tag 3 people and shout, you better get your butt in here. You need to hear this. Because I am preaching to the people who were in this conversation this week about stuff you've been trying to stop and couldn't. And you've been saying, God, give me strength. The problem is you've been trying to allow people who aren't strong enough to bind what you're dealing with. Y'all don't like me today. And no one was able to bind him anymore, even with a chain. No one, I ain't through. I got a minute, even with a chain. Let's go line by line, precept among precept, because the church has been, too many of us are guilty of spiritual malpractice. There are too many pastors and too many worship leaders, songwriters, who are guilty of spiritual malpractice. We are giving a culture phrases without doctrine. We say what we heard without the conviction of what it meant. If we're not careful, we're going to be telling people to be chain breakers when we don't realize it is not us who's supposed to break the chain. God is the chain breaker. Insanity is when you switch roles with God. Am I preaching to anybody? Insanity, Tristan, is when you switch roles with God. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, there's none like you. Then we say, he's a chain breaker, and we get excited. But the immature ear heard chain breaker and went home and tried to break some stuff that they weren't qualified to break. The chain in this instant wasn't to hurt him, it was to help him. See, insanity is the improper assessment of what tool God is using. Y'all missed what I just said. Improper assessment, improper assessment, improper assessment. This is a belt. This is a belt, Tristan, okay? So you remember when you was a little boy, you get in trouble, and what they do? They say, don't make me take my belt off, all right? And then you be terrified of the belt. Why are you terrified of the belt? Because the belt in the right hand represented a whooping. But now that you're grown and done picked up some weight, you appreciate that belt. Because the same thing in one hand that is discipline and another function is support. So insanity is viewing all things as equal. This might be the heaviest sermon of the series. Insanity is viewing all things as equal. So when I see a chain, I need to break it. No. God said, no, we chained him. Why, PMJ? It's right there because he was cutting himself. I put him in chains to help him. The devil put you in chains to hurt you. I'm going to break his chains. I'm going to leave you in these. The chains. And what I've discovered is, I hope you catch this, the season of my life where I lost my mind was the season I broke a chain. Y'all don't hear me. And chains had been torn apart by who? Him. And the shackles broken in what? Pieces. And no one was strong enough to what? Subdue him. No one was strong enough to subdue him. I wish I had a young person watching me who swear your mama don't want you to shine and your parents getting on your nerves. Be very careful when you that young, that immature, and can't be bound. Subdue them. That's critical. That's critical. Look at Mark 5:5. Constantly, night and day, he was screaming among the tombs and in the mountains and gnashing himself with what? Stones. I want to read an excerpt from my book, I Don't Like Myself. It's available on wherever you purchase your books. I want you to catch this. It says, by becoming self-aware, you gain ownership of reality. And becoming real, you become the master of both inner and outer life. That's Deepak Chopra. I want you to catch this now. It says, by becoming self-aware, you gain ownership of reality, and becoming real, you become the master of both inner and outer life. When you don't possess self-awareness, you experience perpetual pain caused by detrimental decisions birthed out of a morbid, maladjusted mindset. That's a heavy prognosis right there. When you don't possess self-awareness, you are possessed by perpetual pain caused by detrimental decisions. They're going to leave it on the screen for you. Birthed out of a morbid, maladjusted mindset. Let me make that make sense. Perpetual means what? Cycles. Pain means what? Things that hurt. You have a cycle of pain. What is causing this cycle of pain? Detrimental decisions. What does detrimental mean? Destructive, bad. So I now have a cycle of pain that is caused by bad decisions that were birthed out of a morbid. What's morbid? Death. What's maladjusted? A dead mindset. Did you catch that? So can I read it backwards? A dead mindset causes you to birth detrimental decisions and leave you in perpetual pain. The problem with many of you, insanity, the problem with many of you is not the fact that you live in. It's the fact that you live in. Same word, two different ways. You doing all you can to please you. And I need you to understand detrimental decisions. Can I ask you a real question that won't nobody ask you? How many decisions do you wish you could get back? Huh? How many contracts have you signed that you wish you could rip up? How many yeses have you given to people who weren't even worthy of a no? I saw you post something this morning, James, that just tickled me. You said them, hey, you said, then it said you, going on now. Like you already, let's not do this. You already know what it is. Like, let's not even, stop entertaining dead people. One of my favorite movies growing up was Sixth Sense. Who ever seen that? Sixth Sense. That was my joint. They said when dead people walked in the room, the lights would flicker. Then all of a sudden it get cold. You can see your breath. So I'm tripping this morning, right? So everything that could go wrong this morning going wrong. I can't find my jeans. I can't find my shirts. Like I'm tearing the room up. I can't find nothing to wear. All of a sudden the lights start flickering, all right? So y'all know I'm crazy. Lights start flickering. I'm like, I did what any normal Christian would do. God forgive me. Who else tried to get that quick God forgive me in real quick? God forgive me. But anyway, I just saw the light flickering and it made me think about the movie. And I said to myself, this is so cold-blooded. That movie, The Theology of Sixth Sense, said that when death was near or dead people were near, there were signs. Maybe we'll talk about this Tuesday. What are the signs of the walking dead? Jesus Christ. The text says he is in the tombs, day and night, screaming among the tombs and in the mountains, gnashing himself. We must also have a commitment not only to self-awareness. Am I helping anybody? Am I helping you this morning? Self-improvement. We're not just going to be aware of an issue. We're going to improve on that issue. I want you to look at this quote. It's going to bless your life. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. A formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. A lot of you are intelligent and ignorant. That was a heavy statement, ain't it? A lot of you watching me are intelligent and ignorant. You know everything in a book, don't know nothing about you. You can read every self-help book you want and listen to every life coach you got. If you don't have a grasp on who you are, you're not going to become what God called you to be. In today's society, it's more acceptable to make a post on social media about what our goals are and what we plan on doing to achieve them than it is to actually achieve them. I often see posts about someone's first day towards a new goal and a hashtag day one. Rarely do I see a follow-up. Just reading a couple excerpts from my book. Look what it says. To that end, I don't know if it really helps us to post our ambitions on social media. That false sense of accomplishment we feel when we receive affirmation in the form of likes, shares, and reposts is flattery of the worst kind. Subtle and sneaky. It swindles our subconscious into evoking emotions of satisfaction we don't yet deserve to feel because we haven't actually done anything to earn that kind of gratification. That like, that share, that comment tricks you into believing you've earned something you have yet to earn. You want to work out, you take a picture at the gym day 1. We never see day 9. Y'all don't like me today. With that said, thank you, Terrell. Less announcements, more moves. Stop being a slave to instant gratification. That's cold-blooded, ain't it? Mark 5 and 6, y'all tired of me. But when he saw Jesus, with all of the stuff wrong with him, this could preach, can't it? When he saw Jesus, watch this, afar off. Pause, let's leave that on the screen for a second. I want to see who can catch this. If this was Bible study, I'll put a mic in front of you. What's the coldest thing about this? When he saw Jesus from afar off, what's the coldest thing? Come on, think with me. Far off. Why is far off important? You can't see him from that far, but it is analogous to the prodigal son. How the father saw the son from afar off, which lets us know that there is a principle of vision. That even with an issue, there is still the ability to see what you need, which means he wanted to be better. He didn't have the strength to be better. But I'm going to help you real quick because Pastor Mike, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true because I want you to see this. Seeing Jesus from a distance, he ran up and bowed down before him. That means he paid homage. He paid homage to Jesus. Even with my issue, I worship. James 2 and 19, I may have church. You say you have faith for you to believe that there is one God. Good for you. Even the demons believe this and they tremble. That's good. In terror. I want you to catch this. Even the issue said, that's Jesus. We gotta press rewind right. I don't think they caught that. No one could bind him. So when Tristan walked up to him with the chains, the demons laughed. When you walked up to him with chains, the demons laughed. When the demon saw Jesus from a distance, he ran to Jesus. Now here's what's cold-blooded. Here's what's cold-blooded. Here's what's cold-blooded. Here's what's cold-blooded. He's in the what? Tombs. There's only one man can make you come out of dead places. The text says, I gotta catch you, that at that name, I'm gonna have church by myself, of Jesus, every knee should bow, and heaven and on earth and under the earth. We missed that. In earth, in heaven, on earth, and under the earth. And every tongue confess that Jesus Christ, fix it, is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. I'm finna say something, and only 7 real saints gonna catch this. I'm finna say something, and 10 of y'all ought to cut your volume up so the kids in your house can hear it. If your house is going to hell, if people in your house is losing their mind, I'm finna say a name that at that name, everything has to bow. Jesus. I wish I had 100 people who can just say that name with me. Jesus. I dare 100 folk to type that name, Jesus. That if your children acting crazy, I say Jesus. If your marriage been crazy, Jesus. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. I need somebody to say that name. I need somebody to say that name. Jesus. If COVID is in your body, Jesus. If cancer is in your body, Jesus. If depression has your mind, Jesus. If low self-esteem is trying to drive you crazy, Jesus. If your family is divided, Jesus. If your finances are low, Jesus. If your mind is driving you crazy, Jesus. I need 100 folk who believe that there is a name above every name, and at that name every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess, and that name is Jesus. Somebody type Jesus. Somebody type Jesus. Somebody type Jesus. Somebody type Jesus.
It's old school, but it still works. That name 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 still works. That name. Some of our kids getting ready to go back to school, and I don't agree with it, but I gotta say, since I have no control over it, right now I just speak Jesus over every school in this city, over every school in this county, over every school your child go to, over every school in America. I declare Jesus for every teacher. That sickness has to bow, COVID has to bow, demons have to bow. There is a name. Demon tripping, right? Demon in the cave, in the man. He sees Jesus from a distance. He runs up, he bows. That's a beautiful word, which means props. He pays homage. One of my favorite movies is Planet of the Apes. One of my nicknames is Caesar. I want to be one of those people who lead my people out of bondage, right? And Caesar does something in his culture that he has a bond, which means authority, Tristan. Whenever he wanted to do something that he didn't know he could do, he would hold his hand out. And his owner would graze his hand, which means I give you authority. When he gets locked up, he's being bullied. He does an assessment of where he is. He lets the biggest ape out. The person who's in charge, the little monkey who's in charge, he stands in front of him and puts his hand out. The monkey looks at his protection and says, I can't win this. And he submits. What happens is when this demon sees Jesus, the demon knows the power that's in him. This is why when you're going through, you don't want to come to church. It ain't that you feel fake. The demon in you is telling you don't go. Who ever been sick and didn't even want to go to the hospital? You say something, I'm gonna be good because I feel like I go to the hospital, they're gonna say something wrong. Look at this. Y'all don't like me today because we quote scripture wrong. I'm gonna read it again, Philippians 2:10 and 11, that at that name, Jesus, every knee should bow. And we go to shout. No, we can't stop there because there's a comma in it. In heaven and on earth and under the earth. Angels, humans, demons. Angels, humans, devils. He runs up to Jesus and he bows. But look at verse 7. And shouting with a loud voice, he said, what business do we have with each other, Jesus, Son of God, the Most High? In other words, no, I see you. All right, can I show you how cold-blooded this is? There's a man. Inside the man is a what? Demons, okay? He sees a man walking up who's Jesus, but inside of him is who? Son of God, Most High. Jesus, earthly name. Messianic title. Watch this. Now, you ain't just Mary's baby, Jesus. You ain't Joseph's son, Jesus. You ain't the carpenter, Jesus. You are the Savior. Watch this. Death, which is the demon, saw life coming. Darkness saw light coming. Depression saw peace coming. Hell saw heaven coming. You want to know what? When I first saw you, I didn't even much like you. It ain't because I did nothing to you. Your insecurity saw my boldness coming. Be careful, because watch what he says. Jesus Son of the Most High God, I implore you by God. Hold on. How did demon go to worshiping? Now, we gotta, y'all be sleeping. Y'all be sleeping. Demon's so strong, people can't even hold his brother. Demon's so strong, he breaking handcuffs off, ripping chains, the scripture says, into pieces, breaking shackles into pieces. Jesus rose up with no chains, no ropes, no physical force, and his whole demeanor changed. 7 people finna catch this and may scream. If you break your computer, that's on you. This is why folk change when they're around you. They know better. I had somebody tell me the other day, so-and-so don't act like that when you around, because they know better. They foolishness can see I'm not to be played with. What business do we have with each other? I implore you by God, do not torment me. I want to deal with the superstition of some sayings on somebody's name. I'm gonna say it again. I want to deal with the superstition of saying one's name. The full of dress is not a confession of Jesus' dignity, but a desperate attempt to gain control over Jesus. See, the demon didn't say Jesus, Son of the Most High God, to pay homage. He tried to use reverse psychology and subdue him. Make that make sense, PMJ? I hope you catch this. I hope you catch this. Boys, yes, sir. Can somebody bring me the remote? Do. Yeah, Michael was acting up at school. Michael, get in here. See, when you got in trouble, the street knew you by your nickname. Mama them would call you by your government name. Michael, Dwayne, McClure Jr., get your butt in here. Now, when I heard the fullness of my name, I knew I was in trouble. Tiffany Renee Samuel, James Howard Fortune, you better get Curtis William Glenn. That was a superstition. If I knew a person's full name, I let you know I knew where you come from, I know who you are, and I can have authority over you. I don't think you heard what I just said. I don't think you heard what I just said. This was a desperate attempt to gain control over him. He said, I implore you by God, do not torment me. Torment, beautiful Greek word, bazino. Bazino, that's a critical, important Greek word, which means pain, toil, torment, toss, vex. Oh, hold on. Demon sees Jesus and says, don't torment me, benzino. Don't toss me, hurt me, vex me. In other words, don't do to me what I've been doing to him. For he had been saying to him, come out of the man, you're an unclean spirit. Verse 9, and he was asking him, what is your name? And he said to him, my name is Legion. Look at the insanity, for we are many. So I love how the text is. Verse 8 and 9 isn't separate, it's the collective. I want to read it together because I didn't do a good job of that. For he had been saying to him, come out of the man, you unclean spirit. What is your name? That goes together. This is a conversation. Come out of this man, you unclean spirit. What's your name? And he said, my name is Legion, for we are many. I wonder how many of your relationships will be salvaged, how much of your hurt will be fixed if you would just admit that my lips was moving, but what came out I didn't mean. Because the demon is talking, but he has to use the man's lips. There are seasons of my life where I said stuff that I didn't agree with. I just had something over me. Which is why when you get upset, you pop off before you know it. Then mid-argument, people telling you what you said, then you say what? I ain't say that to you, because you said it from a bad spirit. My name is Legion, singular, for we are many, plural.
I say it all the time. Within you is an anthropological duality. I and we. If you're not careful, your issue will start speaking for you. Can I free you? You don't want to date them. Your issue picked them. You really don't even want to be on that job. Your issue picked that job. Your issue being you're greedy. You don't know how to be content. You're jealous, which is why you're trying your best to acquire so much stuff because you want to get what you saw other people have. Your car was perfectly fine till so-and-so got one. Now all of a sudden you want one. Your greed caused you to make some decisions. You don't think I want to have church? I want to have church. My love for people is stronger than my insecurity to feel love. Jesus. My name is Legion, for we are many. Leslie, I didn't plan this, but can you give me verses 10 through 17? Because I want to read those for me. Because somebody watching me today, man, I feel God. It's some stuff you need to get out your mind and out your heart. Jesus. Truth of the matter is, look at verse 10. And he began to implore him earnestly not to send them out the country. Now there was a large herd of swine feeding nearby on the mountain. I've never paid attention to this till this morning. Watch this. The demons implored him, saying, send us, watch this, into the swine so that we may enter them. Jesus gave them, watch this, permission. That's cold-blooded. That's cold-blooded. I want to argue, and we can go deeper this week. Did Jesus cast this demon out? Or did he let him out? I know it's semantics, but I want to argue. Because Jesus says, come out of this man. That could be a form of casting out, right, Leslie? Tiffany, that's come out. That's what we do in church. But then he also gave him permission on the location. Too many people leave church bound because people are so caught up in the theatrics of casting stuff out and horrible at placement. That's why so many people aren't ready to be pastors. There are people who portray to have a heart for people that really don't have a heart for people. They have a persona that is a heart for people. That's a mask. If I can be on the phone with you and talk to you and give you lessons that help you come out, but then leave when it's time for your placement, I just hurt somebody else. Can I ask you a question? If you were to vomit right now, all right? And we said, oh my God, and we helped you get to the restroom, but we didn't clean it up, everybody left would be sick. Jesus says, I'm not just gonna get it out of you, I'm gonna make sure it doesn't get into anything else, anyone else. How do I know there were other people around? I'm finna show you. Jesus gave them permission, and coming out, the unclean spirits entered the swine, and the herd rushed down the steep bank into the sea, and about 2,000 of them, and they were drowned in the sea. Look at this verse. They're herdsmen. Had Jesus just casted them out, the demon could have got in the herdsmen. Because watch this, a demon is a spirit without a body. Which is why the devil couldn't do nothing on earth till he took over the snake. Once he got the snake, he was then able to talk to Eve. Because any spirit without a body on earth is illegal. I told you that. Which is why that's not liquor, it's spirits. Which is why they don't call it the ABC store. They call it the what? Spirit store. Because in those bottles are the power to overcome you. Which is why the spirit takes control. Jesus says, come out. Pause. But the demon knew. Can we pick? Go into the pigs. The herdsmen ran away and reported it in the city and in the country. I want to pause for a minute. Pause for a minute. Pray for me. I see everything in the text. I see the criticality of cleaning your circle. I see the danger of proximity. These people, whole business crashed
because one man was around him. We so busy talking about the brother who got free, we don't see the men who lost their whole herd. Herdsmen denotes that's their profession. Fishermen is a person who fishes. Their business died because you got delivered. As we stand on the precipice of the Stellars and all this stuff, James, I've been heavy because everybody's been saying, Pastor Mike, you're going to win something. I'm like, God bless you. But I've been feeling an overwhelming weight because I don't know what got to die. Curtis, you winning can cause some in them to die. That's crazy, ain't it? Pigs are known to be the what? Filthiest animals. Pigs are known to be the filthiest. How did Jews feel about pigs? Say it, Leslie. Don't touch them. Don't touch that animal right there. Jesus, I'll tell you what, go where you belong. The herdsmen ran away and reported in the city and in the country. And the people came to see what it was that had happened. Verse 15. They came to Jesus and observed the man. I want you to pay very close attention to this. And if you're still with me, stay. They came to Jesus and observed the man who had been demon possessed sitting down. They saw the man who was insane sitting down, clothed in his right mind. The very man who had the legion. And they became frightened. Pause. How he's screaming all night, cutting himself, and they sleep. But when he in his right mind, they scared. There are certain people who like you better crazy. There are certain people who like you better wild. There are certain people who like you better broke. They're not going to be able to deal with the fact that you got your money right. You got your mind right. You got your spirit right. Those who have seen it described it to them how it had happened to the demon-possessed man. Watch this. And about the swine. Look at the next verse. And they began to implore, verse 17 is so important. They began to implore him to leave their region. Verse 18. And as he was getting in the boat, I want you to catch this. This script, that version didn't do it justice. They're asking Jesus to leave, not the man. They see what happened. Now, who did this? Hey, Jesus, we need you to leave. And I want to repent. I want to repent. Because when I read this morning, Holy Spirit said, Michael, how many times have you asked me to leave? This is why, Curtis, to everybody from Rock City, when the Spirit get to moving, I won't preach. Because my arrogance to feel like I got to preach this Sunday may be asking his Spirit, move. That's why I'll spend all week preparing a message. Y'all get in here and worship, and the glory fall, and I say, not today. Because my eagerness to preach may be telling Jesus, leave, it's my turn. Jesus. And the crowd began pleading, verse 18. As he was getting in the boat, the man who had been insane begged to go with him. Go 19, Leslie. But Jesus said, no. You see this now? Go home to your family and tell them, stay right there, everything the Lord has done for you and how merciful he has been. I want you to catch this. Jesus, I see something that people miss. Jesus, I see something that people miss. What's that, Mike? You told your disciples, leave everything, including your family, and follow me. You tell this brother who asked to come, go to your family. Why is that, Jesus? Because there are certain people I'm assigned to,
Then there are certain people who are just my assignment. No, those of you who are assigned to me, leave them. No, brother, I don't need you walking with me. I need you to be a billboard for me. It was my job to get you free. Now go home. One of the hardest things you're gonna have to learn how to do the last quarter of 2020 is telling people no. I was wondering if we can go to lunch. No. This is crazy, isn't it? He let the other people who got miracles follow him. Why not him? Why not him? Next verse. So the man started off to visit the 10 towns of that region and began to proclaim the great things Jesus had done for him. And everyone was amazed. Look at this. Here's the answer. Here's the answer. I freed you to be a witness. He went to 10 towns telling them about who? Jesus. This for all my spiritual sons who, spiritual daughters sometimes who say, Pastor, I just want to hang with you. There are certain people who are going to hang with me. There are certain people that your assignment does not require proximity. Can I free you real quickly? Can I free you? Can I free you? This is my own revelation. If it goes too deep, just charge it to my head, not my heart, okay? Hey, brother, I freed you, and Jesus does nothing incomplete. So when I freed you from the demon, I fixed all the other stuff that was wrong in you. You good. Disciples, y'all stay with me because y'all got some growing up to do. Stop thinking because you ain't close, something wrong with you. Sometimes the people close to you, because them the ones you got to watch the most. Some of you think you special because you hanging. Don't realize you really hanging because we realize if we don't keep you close, you'll fall off. And then certain people you never call because you can see they've matured to the place where they can complete their assignment. Don't let your insecurity, insanity is the improper assessment of where you've been planted. I want to submit to you that God is doing a good thing in you. I pray in the name of Jesus. Real simple. I heard Dr. Jamal Bryant say this and it blessed my life. God, your will, nothing more, nothing less, nothing else. I am real enough to admit there are some things in my life I need God to fix. I'm not perfect. I thank you for the love you show me. I thank you for the honor you give me. But there are seasons of my life where I feel like that man, nobody can buy me. I heard something that was so powerful yesterday, and I hope I quote it right. It said, the light is on you because of the light that's in you. But if the light that's on you is brighter than the light that's in you, it'll burn you up. Did I say that right? And as God begins to take me to heights and expose me to the world, all I've been praying is, God, don't let the light that's on me be bigger than the light that's in me. That's why we left from Nashville and rushed back doing 100 miles an hour just to get to football practice. I don't want my boys to feel like daddy blew up and disappeared. That's why as exhausted as we are right now, I'm standing right here live preaching to you because I want you to know I love you. I cherish this unique assignment that God has given me. And I believe God has placed me in front of you this morning to say to you what he said to this unnamed brother. We don't know his name. The only name we know is the name of the demon, Legion. He says, come out. And I look at you boldly and I say to you on the other side of this camera, come out. Come out of depression. Come out of this cancerous cycle that you find yourself in. Come out of the pit. Come out of insecurity. I want to speak to you that there is nothing wrong with you. It's just not your time. And no matter how hard you pray, no matter how hard you work, when it's not your time, it's just not your time. Be comfortable in knowing that when God is ready, it's going to blow your mind. can you lift your hands right where you are, please? Please. Yeah, lift your hands right there. As they lift their hands in submission, I touch and agree that the very thing they need God to do, it shall be done for them, if it's in his will and in his timing. I pray right now that we will become sensitive to the Spirit and realize, God, is not by power nor by might, but by your Spirit. I pray, God, that we would humbly submit ourselves to your process. That yes, God, we all have hopes, dreams, and ambitions. Nevertheless, thy will be done. God, with our hands lifted, we surrender. We freeze. Have your way. Real soft, Rod. Have your way. God, we give you honor. We give you praise. We give you honor. We give you praise. God, to the person who hasn't logged off, who's crying tears, because God, they're overwhelmed, tired. I speak strength. I speak joy, because we know the joy of the Lord is our strength. I pray right now, God, that you will let them know that there's more living to do. That it's all a part of the process, that you are molding and shaping and making, mending, and even breaking. But it's for our purpose. So, Father, we thank you. Father, oh, yes, God, we thank you for just being God. I want you to repeat after me. Say, Lord, I surrender. Say, Lord, I surrender. I give you my heart. I give you my life. I give you my mind. Take over. You have my attention. In Jesus' name.